That's the way every day goes.
Hey Yin, is this really an Islamic bank? The logo's black and nice, but the bank is a conventional bank, right?
Exactly. I think this is an Islamic window, a branch inside conventional bank that runs Syariah compliant services.
So it's just a halal window in a riba building.
Let's go inside. We ask the bank officer.
Let's go.
Assalamualaikum. What can I help you guys?
Waalaikumsalam.
We are an Islamic finance students at USIM. We need to ask, is this bank truly Syariah compliant? It's not a full-fledged of Islamic bank, right?
Yeah, you're right. This is an Islamic window. But our operation, we are separately between Islamic and also conventional. And we are follow guideline by Bank Negara Malaysia.
But the bank HQ is still conventional. The management and the IT system, they are all shared. So isn't it possible that the fund can get mixed? If so, can we truly say it's 100% halal?
That's a valid point. It's one of the challenges we face. We try our best to separate between Islamic and conventional. But yes, this issue has been debated among the scholars.
So you mean there's a chance that our money could be mixed with riba?
What?
Assalamualaikum, Doktor.
Waalaikumsalam. Have a seat.
Thank you, doctor.
Why are you coming here? Is there any problem?
Doctor, I want to ask about Islamic window.
Islamic window are not invalid, but they are not ideal either. They are real risk of Syariah contamination. For example, fund can be misused, and then the Islamic side depends on a riba-based institution. They are also Islamic decision are often controlled by the conventional HQ.
No wonder many scholars prefer full-fledged Islamic banks.
Exactly. If we truly care about upholding maqasid Syariah, we can't just build a halal window in a haram house. We need a fully Islamic structure from foundation to roof.
Wow, I didn't know a window could carry so much sin.
Today, we see Islamic window in many banks. A halal label placed in the corner of a riba institution. But is Islam just a label? A window inside a house built on riba? No, Islam deserves better. I believe Bank Negara Malaysia must act. We don't just need Islamic department, but we need independent Islamic bank with their own system, their own governance and their own soul. Firstly, let there be full separation. Then let Islamic window grow into full-fledged Islamic bank. Then let Syariah decision be made by Syariah mind, not conventional management.
Today, we have Islamic windows, but is that enough to pull us out of a system rooted in riba? For example, if a house is built on riba, is it enough to just change the curtains to Syariah? Islam is not a label, it's a principle, a trust and responsibility. How long will we let Islam run a room inside a riba system? For more information, let's watch this video together.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day to everyone. Today, we are honored to present a topic that is becoming increasingly important in the world of finance, especially for Muslims, Islamic windows. In this presentation, we will be exploring a key question. Can Islamic windows truly uphold Sharia values? Before we begin, let me introduce our group members who have worked hard on this presentation. Myself, Nur Aleesya Batrisya, followed by Hafizatul Zulaiha, Nureen Qamareena, Nurul Fadhlin Haziqah, and last but not least, Syazana Izzati. What is an Islamic window? An Islamic window refers a setup in a conventional bank that offers Islamic banking products and services. The bank doesn't need to become fully Islamic bank. Instead, it uses its existing staff, branches, and system to offer services that are said to follow Islamic principles. You can imagine it like this. It's similar to having a halal section in regular grocery store. The halal section is there, but the rest of the store still sells non-halal items. Why were Islamic windows created? Islamic windows were created mainly to attract Muslim customers who prefer to use Islamic services that follow Islamic teachings. They also allow conventional banks to offer Syariah compliance products without having to completely change their entire banking system to the Islamic model. In other words, it's a more practical and cost-effective way for banks to reach Muslim customers. What does Syariah compliant mean? Now, this is very important to understand. Syariah compliant doesn't only mean having a product labeled as Islamic. It goes much deeper than that. For a product or service to truly follow Syariah, the entire process must be clean. From the intention behind the service to the way it's structured to how transactions are carried out. There must be no riba, no gharar, and nothing that goes against Islamic principles. So, even if the product looks Islamic on the outside, if the system behind it still based on conventional practice, it might not really be Syariah compliant.
Now, let's take a look at the basic principle of Sharia in the context of Islamic finance and banking. Firstly, Sharia strictly prohibits riba, which means interest. This is because earning money from money is seen as unjust and exploitative in Islam. Instead, profit must be earned through legitimate trade and investment in assets. Next is the prohibition of gharar or uncertainty. This means that contract must be clear and transparent, with all terms agreed upon in advance. For example, selling something that you don't own yet or unclear contract terms would be considered gharar. Then we have maisir or gambling. Transactions that are based on pure chance or speculation are not allowed. This is to avoid financial harm and promote ethical investing. Lastly, the foundation of Sharia is based on justice, honesty, and social responsibility. This means all financial activities should benefit society, treat all parties fairly, and support the welfare of the community. These principles aim to create a balanced, fair, and ethical financial system. That's all from me. Thank you.
One of the main issues with Islamic windows is the mixing of funds. Even though the products themselves may be Sharia compliant, the operational systems such as Treasury, IT, and HR are still shared with the conventional side of bank, which deals with riba. This creates a risk of contamination where halal and non-halal funds could be mixed. Another issue is with Sharia governance. In Islamic windows, the Sharia committee usually has limited authority because the overall management of the bank is still under conventional leadership. This makes it difficult to fully implement Islamic governance in decision-making process. Lastly, Islamic windows can cause confusion among the public. Many customers don't clearly understand the difference between a full-fledged Islamic bank and an Islamic window. As a result, they might assume every offer is fully halal, when in reality, there may be elements of shubha involved.
Islamic finance scholars have expressed concern about the concept of Islamic window. They argue that Islamic window are only cosmetic if there is no separation that may be more comprehensive. This means that simply offering Islamic product within a conventional bank does not make the bank truly Sharia compliant if the operation, governance and financial system remain mixed. Because of this concern, scholars believe that the government and Bank Negara Malaysia should release a new policy that mandates a shift from Islamic windows to full-fledged Islamic bank. This criticism highlights that fear that Islamic window might mislead the public. Without full operation independence, there's a risk that the Islamic side is just a label while the core system remains conventional. Scholars are calling for structural reform to ensure the integrity of Islamic finance is preserved.
To address this concern, we propose several key solutions that can help Islamic window better uphold true Sharia values in their operation. Firstly, Government and Bank Negara Malaysia should release a new policy, which is mandatory to shift from Islamic window to full-fledged Islamic bank by total Sharia compliance. Full-fledged Islamic bank can operate without relying on any riba-based infrastructure like IT, HR or Treasury, and ensuring total compliance with Maqasid Sharia, stronger Sharia governance. Also, bank needs to make independent Sharia commits, not just advisory roles, but real impactful decision-making power. Next, encourage all Muslims choosing Islamic full flag instead of Islamic window. As a Muslim, choosing halal financial service is an obligation. Supporting fully Islamic bank reflects commitment to Sharia in daily life. If more Muslim bank with Islamic bank, the Islamic bank gain more deposit, more power to grow, expand and innovate. When people stop trusting Islamic window and start favoring full-fledged institution, banks are forced to transition or lose customer.
Maybe we can start by education campaign led by university, masjid or NGOs, fatwa informants from state religious bodies, and Bank Negara Malaysia initiative from customer opening accounts at full-fledged Islamic banks.
To conclude, whether through top-down policy or bottom-up consumer action, both paths aim to purify the Islamic financial ecosystem and move away from dependence on the conventional. And most importantly, to ensure that Islam is not just a window, but the whole foundation. Thank you so much for your attention.